Welcome to our team call, everyone. Wednesday, June 12th, which makes me kind of sad because it means like June's halfway over. And where I live, it's finally nice out. But I asked Hayley to come on and share her heart with us tonight. But before we dive into Hayley, I actually didn't ask you, Hayley, but I know there's a lot of people who don't know your story. So if you have like 5-10 minute version of your story, that would be fabulous, just to kind of tell us a little bit about you. Two really quick things I want to share with you guys. I know that there was something else I wanted to tell you guys, so if I think of it at the end, I didn't write it down, I'll tell you guys. But in case you haven't, I remember. So let's talk Morning Meltdown 100 for 1 second. So this is the first time that with a VIP early access release, that the very day that they're available to purchase, which is July 1st, if you purchase them on July 1st, you'll actually get access to the first 10 workouts. So last time we did a VIP early release, you could sign up for T20, but you didn't get the workouts until it came out on VIP early access. So this is a huge incentive for you to purchase it on July 1st. You'll get the first 10 workouts, and they're only going to be available until July 16th, and then they come down. And so from July 16th to July 29th, when it comes out on VIP early access, let me rephrase that. July 29th is when whoever purchases VIP early access for MM100, that's when it will all the workouts, will start to show up. But from the 16th to the 29th, if you buy VIP access, they won't be there. I guess it's a system limitation. So they're giving us coaches like an extra early window to purchase, to get those first 10 workouts in, so that we can start to share that on social media, share how we feel about it. And, with 10 workouts, we'll get a good idea of what the workout is all about. The free workout that Beachbody always does before a new workout comes out is going to be released on June 24th. So if you guys are calendar people like me, June 24th, you'll see it go up in the team page. You guys will get a link. It's just going to be a Vimeo link. No one has to have a Beachbody On Demand account. It's completely like off the Beachbody On Demand thing. So they're just going to get the video. And I wanted to share with you guys this month in June. I know that there's a lot of people that are excited about MM100. And we don't want our customers to wait until July 1st to purchase or anything. Or actually, customers can't even purchase until July 16th. Only coaches can. So July 16th is customers, July 1st is coaches. But we don't want our customers to wait until July. So what they're doing for the month of June is, for anyone that buys a challenge pack this month, they will get a promo code emailed to them, and it will be uploaded to their to their, Team Beachbody account where they go and buy things. At the top, it will pop up and say, you have a promotion code, and they'll get $20 off the accessory bundle, or they'll get $10 off the digital access unlock. So if you guys have anyone purchasing challenge packs this month, make sure that you let them know. Like, they might not even know what MM100 is. You might not have even posted about it. You might not even know about the workouts yet. We're going to have a whole team call on that coming up soon. But I just wanted to let you guys know that that's a really big incentive for a couple reasons. One, you can help people get started now. They don't have to wait. And number two, that's another incentive to help them in the following month. So more to come on that. I know I went over that really quick, but I just wanted to tell you guys that you'll get access to the first 10 workouts. We are going to have promo codes for people that purchase this month. And we're also going to have other promo codes that launch in July. I know I touched on this last week or the week before, but we will have other promo codes for other people. So I don't know what they are yet. The only ones I know are the one for the people who buy this month. Yes, they can, Carrie. So Carrie's question for those watching the recording is, can they sign up as a discount coach on July 1st and get access? Yes. Sorry, Britt, if you answered that before I did. Okay, cool. So yeah, the whole idea of doing those workouts, the first 10 for us as coaches, is to be able to use that to market. Britt, I wasn't sure if you wanted me to go over that. I can kind of briefly touch on it, and then maybe next week or on another video we can go over it.
I was just saying, me and Candace were actually going to go live today in Team Rising Lotus, what is that, like dual, like two of you go live, I've never done that, and talk about it. Like we created a group to, like the intention is everyone's going to do Morning Meltdown 100 and we're going to do Clean Week to like prep and then do the free workout to like introduce them and then like go over all the different options. We just haven't really like discussed it with Team Rising Lotus, but we kind of like created it yesterday. So that's kind of like what we're doing.
Perfect. So essentially what Britt is saying is it's like this, it's a group, it's a holding group, it's an info group, it's a hype group. It's a place to put people to inform them about what this is. And what we're really marketing towards is the pre-enrollment. So for the people who are going to be ready to go July 1st as discount coaches, or if they're going to be lame and wait, they have to wait till July 16th. And the people who buy on July 16th are not going to get those first 10 free workouts because that's when the window is closed. They'll have to wait till July 29th. So discount coach/coach is a big deal starting July 1st. Yes, I am in there, Britt. Thank you so much. I don't want to throw too many things at the team, but I know that like us as leaders, we're gearing up to launch MM100. So I just wanted to tell you guys. And for some of you that if you don't check into the team page often, I know it's in Team Rising Lotus, it's probably in other team pages within our organization, but in Dream Corp, I posted something called Start With Something. And I love the idea of it because it's just a way to help you start to, whoa, I just heard a big bang in my house. To help you help people, essentially, to help people get started. And I feel like whenever I'm helping my customers and my coaches, or let's just say customers, that there's different buckets of people. Like some people, I did such a good job of sharing and inviting that they're interested, but because I just came at them with like, hey, you should do this with me, they aren't quite ready yet to make a big investment. And they're really cold market, like they barely know me. Those are the people that I'm gonna get started with something. And then there's people who have been following me for 29 years and they watch me work out every day. And then I present to them the total solution, which I honestly think is the $250 challenge pack with everything. And those are the people that have been following me for a long time and they're like, boom, done. And so it's okay to start people with something. And if you're a newer coach who feels pressured or, you know, you're just not down with Success Club yet, I know that Hayley and her team are huge Success Club people. Us as leaders, we're always in a Success Club. We always will be, but I don't want everyone to feel like the only thing that you have to do in this business is Success Club, because you can earn an income and you can help people. I just checked my paycheck this past week. I made like $300 just from retail things that people that bought a 3-month Beachbody on demand a couple months ago are now buying Energize. And someone added on Shakeology and we didn't even talk about it, but she sees me talking about it. So just don't get discouraged. And the Start With Something is for the next month, trying to help 15 people get started with something. And what we're finding is that these people who are getting started, because you're breaking the ice, you're more pumped up, it's more like on us, right? We feel less pressure, that the conversation ends up talking about a challenge pack and they end up getting the goodies anyway. Not everyone, but I found that all the people I'm talking to that were just like, yeah, I want to do this virtual wellness studio with you. What does it entail? As I'm talking to them, by the time I send them a share cart, they have other things in their cart. So I just want you guys to work on building up your confidence, taking that action, having fun with it. I'm sure you saw the thread and there's a little graphic where you fill in the 15 people that you're going to help. And we're giving away prizes for the first person who does it, the second person who does it, and the third person who does it. Yes, I agree, Carrie. And we have all sorts of coaches. We have some part-time coaches who are more hobby coaches. We have discount coaches on this call who are considering becoming business building coaches. And then we have full-time, let's freaking rock this coaches. And so different strokes for different folks has been my jam lately. Was there a question? No. Okay. So Hayley, I asked Hayley to speak to us on a couple things. I threw a million things at her actually. And the main reason I wanted her to talk to us tonight was because like there was a period of time ago where she was asking me questions and now I'm totally the student. She's my teacher and I'm learning so much from her. We both have worked with her upline Keith together. Hayley is featured in Keith Callahan's amazing book called Build to Last. And Hayley is known as the sleeping giant. The person that Keith knew always had potential, but she was sleeping. She just like wasn't ready. Maybe the necessity wasn't there. And until one day she drew a line in the sand. And recently I reached out to her and I asked her So when you're signing up new coaches, when you're working with your coaches, tell me a little bit how this mentorship works. How are you setting your expectation? How do you speak to your coaches? And it's so funny because when she says it, it's so, oh, duh, yeah, I can do that. And then I go to do it, and I'm still fumbling my way through a new process for coaches, and I've been a coach for 6 years because I'm doing something different. So I wanted Hayley to come on tonight and share with us, number one, her story, number two, how she helps her new coaches and what she says to them. And like, I know she's straightforward and real deal, and she sets the expectation that you have to do the work. So Hayley, do you want to tell us your story?
Yeah, I didn't write it down. I can't find it anywhere. So it's just
you don't need to write it down.
So I was like, Colleen team, they know me a little bit. I'll say my story. All right. So before coaching, I was working 19-hour days. So the excuse for like, I don't have time doesn't make any sense to me. It never has. I was a bartender, hairdresser 9 to 5, bartender 5 to 3 o'clock in the morning. And being a hairdresser, like making that decision was the biggest decision of my life because I didn't have enough money to go to college. And even if I did, I didn't want to go. I went for like a semester for a couple different things and I hated all of it. And I was like, this is just boring and I don't want to be here for like so much more longer. I wanted to be a psychologist and I was like, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. It's like 10 years, no thanks. And then I went to school to be a probation officer. I didn't love it. So I'm like, why am I spending my money and going to be paying this off forever if I don't love it? It doesn't make any sense to me. So I quit that and I started hairdressing, which again was the biggest deal because I didn't have, one, I already quit something. Two, it was my money that it was all me. And during that time I still had to bartend full time. So I literally had like 2 hours of sleep every night because I had to bartend till 3 and then like get up at 6 o'clock in the morning to go to school. So then like as soon as I graduated, which was I actually graduated first in my class, like the best in my class, and I got into the best salon in my town, like on paper best salon in my town. And I thought like everything was so perfect and I actually pretended like everything was. And I just realized that this is not what I want to do forever. And I all of a sudden got like the worst anxiety. Like I grew up with anxiety, but it just got like worse and worse and worse the more trapped I felt. Because one, I had to pretend like I was happy with this new career, and two, I still had to work full time as a bartender to even make any type of money. So I was just like a big liar, pretending like I liked my job on social media, like come down to the salon and come visit. I'm like, you're lying. Whenever I see that now, I'm like, you're a liar. You don't like your job. But who knows? Maybe they do. But I did not, and the one thing I liked about it was making people feel better about themselves. So I didn't know it was anything about coaching because I actually hated social media back then. I never ever went on it. So I just was like, okay, well, I guess I'm just stuck here forever. And like I said, that just really made me sad. So instead of like trying to find a different path, I didn't know any other way out. I was just like hiding it with like basically drugs and alcohol. Not anything crazy, just like Adderall and Xanax and stuff like that. I wasn't prescribed it or anything. I would buy it off of people, which made it seem a little bit extreme. And then at night, I was just like a drunk bartender trying to pretend like my life was fine and like fit in with everybody that was drunk. So over time, that was like a couple years, and I gained like 25 pounds, and I was so mean to people, and I was like starting to lie to my husband, who I love so much, about like not doing Adderall and stuff like that. And I'm like, ew, I'm not a liar. So right at that exact time, some girl like I haven't seen in a long time, she came in to see me at the bar. Well, she didn't come in to see me. She just came into the bar and I was working, and she was like, damn, girl. She's like, you got thick. And I'm like, what? I have 3 sisters. None of them could tell me that. So actually, as much as I wanted to kill her, she's like the reason why I started P90X, which I had like in a box sitting there forever. I got an infomercial, like watching it at like 3 o'clock in the morning one night after I got home from bartending. And I never really did anything with it because I didn't have accountability, and I got sore within the first 2 days, and I was like, okay, cool, I'm paralyzed. I quit. So I actually, like I said, I hated social media, but I told my husband and everybody that I worked with, I'm going to do this P90X thing. And just so you guys know, I'm going to look so good in like 90 days. And then so I just did it like for real. I didn't know about Shakeology, but I still, I wasn't 100% at all. I was still like doing some Adderall, but like drinking sometimes and whatever. I wasn't following the meal plan, but I lost like 10 pounds in the 90 days and my attitude changed. And I was like, wow, the one thing that makes me kind of happy is like Beachbody. And my sister asked me, like, how's the whole hairdressing thing going? And I'm like, it's like not great. I wish I could just work for Beachbody. And I didn't know I could become a coach or anything like that. And she was like, pretty sure you can. And I said, I'm supposed to call up Beachbody and ask. And she's like, no, I met some guy at a yoga studio. He seems to be pretty successful. Do you want me to get you in touch with him? Because she was like a super into sales freak then. And I'm like, I don't care, because I hated it all. Fine, go ahead. And it was Keith, and I got in a call with him like literally the next day. And usually like I am so mean to like the middle of the mall people. Anybody's trying to sell me something, I'm like, get out of here. No, go. But like him, I don't know, something about his voice. I was like, the second I got off, I was on the call, I was telling Patrick, I was like, can I have your card? Can I have your card? So I was signing up right then and there. And I said to him, I was going to go all in. And my all in, I got diamond in my first like 30 days basically, but I stayed diamond for 3 years. And I stayed diamond for 3 years because I was comfortable. I always had the bartending job just in case. I secretly hate when people talk shit about me or mean to me. So I was just trying to say, I was just like staying safe and just posted on social media. And I was like, I worked. And like, if somebody commented on my shit, I'll be like, I'm working. I'm working. And like, whenever it came time to actually do the work behind the scenes, I'd be like, gotta take my dogs out. Gotta go do those dishes. So it always makes sure to like ignore the stuff to make me move forward. And that's when I came up with the Gangster Rap Connections. It's in the Beachbody Champions page. If you haven't looked at that, that's just like a way that I made up to invite for like introverts, people that are really scary or shy or scared or shy to invite or feel weird doing it. I made up that Gangster Rap Connections video. I'm not going to talk about that right now, but it was, I did that for a whole entire year nonstop. I still stayed a diamond for the whole entire year. Of course, my income grew slowly, but I just knew for once, okay, I'm actually doing the behind the scenes work. I know this is going to catch up to me finally. And so at the end of the year of me going all in for once with everything, not just half, all that, I ended up going from diamond to 8-star in like a month at the end of the year. So I've been 8-star since then. And so I was just like, that was 2 years ago. And I'm just like, I had fun. I traveled a lot. I did a lot of things with the money that comes with it. And I'm over it. So I'm trying to go for like 15-star in the matter of the next couple of months. So I came up with a new system. And it's like a mentorship program. And I'm having so much fun doing it. And like Carl Deichler is so obsessed with it. He asked me to do a one-on-one with him on the cruise, and he literally said to me, and to like the people like Doug Moss and all them, said that I was the best system that he heard. And so he made me do a bunch of calls all throughout the corporate and stuff like that. So I definitely want to talk about that, but hold on. So it kind of started in January. The whole like new year, new everything bullshit. So January, my Instagram just really wasn't great. It wasn't letting me do anything, kind of like the shit that's going on with you guys, some Brittany and a couple other people. So it wasn't letting me message. It wasn't letting me do a lot of the features. And I was like, like crying and literally crying. And I told Keith, I was randomly talked to him and I was like, just so stupid. Like, I don't know, like Instagram's like blocking me from talking to people. Like so many people wanted to join my group and I can't even get in touch with them. And he started laughing at me and he said, good. I'm like, what? Excuse me? And he's like, good. You shouldn't be spending your time there anyway. You should be creating leaders. And I was like, I am. But like I was, but not the way I should be. Like I was doing one-on-one calls. I always have since day one because he taught me that, but I wasn't doing them the way I'm doing now. So I was like, whatever, like, okay. And then I went to Super Saturday in Boston and it was actually Keith Callahan and his upline, Bob Lucido, speaking. And Bob Lucido was like saying, if you work a 30-hour work week with Beachbody, you should be spending half of that, 15 hours, creating leaders, like working one-on-one with your coaches. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm like kind of doing that, but like I could probably do better. And then I went home and my Instagram was still acting up. And I want to read this quote to you guys that I'm like, I wrote it. This quote's from me. But it says, if social media disappeared right now from you, all you would have left to do is turn the people that you had already established trust with into leaders. And you can do that right now. So I was like, all right, cool. So like I have a business. All I got to do is like take time to help the people that friggin' trusted me already. So what am I doing? So I made that up, and I was doing a crazy amount of calls. I'm still doing tons of calls, but I'm kind of slowing the one-on-ones down. Still keeping like very important, like the new coaches on the one-on-ones weekly, but I'm getting into this thing like pods and all that crap that everybody's doing right now. I'm trying to like group up everybody that's not emerald and make them emerald, and then group up all the emerald and make them diamond, all the diamonds to like 2-star or 5-star. So I'll be doing this process that I'm talking about, but just in a bigger group so I can have more time for myself. But honestly, like people think that all these calls I'm doing gives me no time for myself, but absolutely not. I would never make this business not fun for me. I always make time for myself. I plan it out and everything. So let's see. So when I got home, my Instagram was being stupid still. But I had to bring it back to whole, like what Colleen was saying, like the having the right mindset and discipline you need to have to rock this business. So I needed to get the right mindset to make this work for me. And I was not ready for that at all. So, because honestly, like guys, creating leaders is the secret to working less and making more. So I needed to make this happen. I wasn't ready. I wasn't organized. I didn't even use a planner since day one. I've never used a planner. I've always just talked to Siri. Cool. Hey, I have a call with Colleen at 4:00 on Sunday. You know, that's all I was doing. I was not organized at all. If I wanted to develop leaders, I needed to become a better one. So, let's see. Is it leader of leaders, make more, work less? Oh, but like I wanted to make, the goal is, of course, become a leader of leaders, work less, make more, but you have to sacrifice first. And so I had to do that. I wrote another quote, the universe won't give you what you want unless you're ready for it. And I wasn't ready for it. So I had like a spare bedroom that I'd never used. Hardly anybody comes visits me. Like, why the hell am I keeping it for my clean laundry to be sit on my bed so I don't freaking fold it forever? So I was like, something needs to change. Like, I'm done not having like a legit office. Like, I'm a legit coach. Like, I'm a top coach. I need to act like one. So I got rid of all the stuff in this room here, gave it away, and I invested in a new office. Like, and at that time I was just traveling like crazy. Like, I probably shouldn't have done it, but like I knew that it was going to make me more money down the line. So we got like, I don't want to show you guys real quick. So like Patrick has his own little office, like a little desk. It's sick. That's where we keep all the challenger information. And then that's just like a little nothing. But this is where every day I sign people up. Like, it's all color coordinated. Like, that was nothing like that. If I sign up a coach, they're red, customer, they're blue. And then these are my business centers. First business center, second business center, and Patrick's business center. Everything's like labeled with colors. Like I said, the black names are not emeralds. So all that shit, like I wasn't ready for that. So I needed to become ready to be this person. Also,
Hayley, can I ask you something?
Yes.
I don't know if you're going to, maybe this will be like the second part you're going to talk about, but I wanted to have you dive into, so you did all these calls, right? Because like a lot of these faces on here, I feel like are emerging into leader, but more so like trying to start their business. So let's say they signed up with you and you get on a call with them. What does that sound like?
Okay. Yeah. So that's coming.
Okay, cool.
So hold on.
Because that's like when I think about, okay, if I want to, and this is also like Hayley becoming a CEO. There's a Beachbody coach and then there's CEOs. The Beachbody coach says, like, I'm going to do my workout. I'll drink my shake. I'll share on social media, maybe I'll invite, and like they're doing a lot of the maybes. And Keith has told Hayley and I on both of our calls that we've been pissed off, that we feel stuck, or whatever is going on in our life and business. Because if you guys don't think we have those moments, oh, you're wrong. I've bawled my eyes out to Keith before. Maybe Hayley has too. I've had my Dr. Phil moments with Keith, and I'm like, what the hell? I'm super frustrated. And he's like, Colleen, you need to do whatever it is that you're not willing to do. And then you make a list of all the things that you're not willing to do. And I know that Keith's probably said that to you before too. Mm-hmm. But I think about the expectation and the mindset of like, if you guys are coming at this as I want to change my life, whether it's part-time or full-time, it doesn't matter, guys. The amount of effort that you put in is up to you, but it still has to be an all-in effort. It can be all-in part-time or all-in full-time or legacy style and beyond, but you still have to have the discipline and the mindset of treating this like a business. So, you know, when you come in, if you sign up with me or Hayley or whoever, have this expectation that she's about to explain of how you dive in. So I'm going to shut up now. But
so with my planner, like I literally plan on my calls. I'll show you exactly what I do, how I do it, and like what I say and all that stuff. But I always make sure to schedule in a long ass break for myself, because I'm not trying, and like my break is literally no phones allowed. So I actually get excited to go back to work, and I get excited to leave. So I have like a whole list of things I want to talk about, but you were talking about how you want to know about how I talk to my new coaches. I have exactly how I run these one-on-one coach mentoring calls with my new coaches, with my leaders, and the people that just decided to show up out of nowhere all over again. So I have examples for all, but for my new coach, if you just signed up, like this is what I do. After they enroll, they have to fill out, well, first of all, they usually fill out my coach like application to join. I literally direct people there all day, every day. I don't like DMs, they get buried. And I tell my Instagram story at least once a week that email and applications are my priority. So after they fill out an application, it goes straight to my email, obviously. And if they want to be a coach, then I send them like the next steps for coaching, which is just like basic stuff. It's just like add and announce yourself to my team page, add yourself to my wellness community, add yourself to the Beachbody Champions page. That's where my training is nowadays, by the way. I use the Beachbody Champions training units. It's the 7 units, and I tell them they have to complete all the units to schedule their first one-on-one call with me. I figured, what the hell? Like, it's literally all the top coaches explaining exactly what to do with the units and everything. So I'm like, this is the dumbest thing ever. Why am I not using it? So I've been using that, and it's been amazing in every single way. So after, let's see. But the most important thing on my like next steps coaching email thing, there's like 5 things. Like I said, add yourself to my team page, whatever, all this stuff. But the most important thing I care about is obviously add yourself to Beachbody Champions page and my team. But I have a questionnaire that I've been using since I started that Keith like made me fill out. It's just a super simple questionnaire, but honestly on that questionnaire, only thing I care about is on a scale of 1 to 10, how serious are you about the business? And what are your biggest concerns? And that's all I talk about basically on our next call. And then I set some goals for them and hold them accountable for the next call after that. So if they tell me on a scale of 1 to 10, they are like a 1 through a 7, that's like for me not that serious. It's like you're not even ready for it. Like you're a little bit scared. Let's go to the Beachbody Champions page, get you some results, and then we'll talk about it a little bit more like after you're done with the training. But if they tell me like 7 to 10 and they're like ready to show up all the time in social media and stuff like that, then I am not going to have them wait to go through the Beachbody Champions training. I usually reach out to them immediately and say, hey, I usually don't do this, but I can tell how excited you are and how serious you are about this business. So let's just like get on a quick one-on-one call now just to get you started off right. I want to get to know you a little bit more, and let's just talk. Let's set some goals. I'm like, okay, cool. So my first call, I go over that app and questionnaire. I literally say, hey, I know I already went over it. Can you just remind me on a scale of 1 to 10, how serious you are about this business, 10 being very serious? And they're like, I said 9, but now I mean 10 because blah, blah. Okay. So I say, what do I expect out of 10s? Okay, well, I expect 10s to show up every single day on social media. Can you do that? And they say, yeah. I say, cool. And then, sorry, I just got home and hear my dog's going mental. And then I also say, I remind them of what I don't expect of them. Like, you can't miss days. It's going to be a business. And, you know, why would somebody go to somebody that's not showing up, whatever. So, and then ask them if they're good with that. Yes. And then I set up a call. Oh, sorry, I'm already on the call. And then I say, okay, so I do these weekly calls. I do them every single week for people that are really serious about the business. Do you want to get on my weekly schedule, my weekly one-on-one call schedule? And they're like, yeah. I say, okay, I just wanted to say this again. I'm not trying to be like a psychopath, but the only thing I care about to get on these calls is if you show up every single day on social media. Can you do that? And they say, yes. And I say, only reason why I'm psycho about it is because, like, I have so many new coaches every day asking me, what's the biggest tip you would send for new coaches? It's show up every day on social media, because if you don't, then they're going to go to somebody that does. And if I'm doing it, you definitely have to be doing it. So that's the one thing I've never done. I've never missed a day. And like, that's the thing. If they wanted to get on a call with me, but they missed the day, why the hell would I get on a call with them? The only thing I'm going to tell them is don't miss a day on social media next week. So that's that. So on the call after that, I say, okay, cool. So on these calls, I'm going to help you grow your business and grow your Instagram and hold you accountable to your goals every single week. So let's set some goals. And like I said, this is different for every single person I talk to. It's very specific, which is why I think it's very, it's like really working to grow. I'm like growing so many leaders. It's amazing. But it's very specific on each person. So I want to go over like two different ways. This one and the person that doesn't show up that much and just decided to show up. For a new coach, I don't like to overwhelm them. Sometimes it's different for everybody. Like, seriously, it's different for everyone. I'd be like, hey, you set up your direct deposit yet? Yeah, I did. Cool. Hey, did you do this yet? Like, yeah, I did. Cool. So, all right, now you already did your first post. So did you already invite everybody that like liked and commented on it yet? No? Okay. All right, let's set some goals here. So you're available same time next week just for a quick check-in call? Yeah, I am. All right, cool. So, all right. And then guys, I open up my book. So say if it's, you know, next Tuesday, the 18th, which is Wednesday, the 19th, exactly 1 week from today. So I have a call with some girl, you know, I had a call with her earlier. And I was like, you need to be in Success Club next time I talk to you. I want you to, and so instead of just saying, I want you to be in Success Club, or I want you to help 2 people this week, I don't just say that and like hope they figure it out. I tell them how they're going to do that. So I say, do you mind if I pull up your Instagram and give you some advice on how to do that? And they say, no, please do. I'm like, cool. So I go on their Instagram, and it's literally different for everyone. Say if this girl has like not great photos and is like never in her Instagram story and whatever, I don't know, it's different. So like this person, I'll be like, hey, all right, so let's work on our photos this week. And I literally show them with my computer, being like, look at the difference between me in front of the window and me not in front of the window. Like, your words matter, and I want to make sure that people read them. So the only way they're going to read them is if you're in front of a window or light is facing you. Do you understand that? Yeah. Awesome. And then I'm like, okay, so I also want you to show up in your Instagram story. You know, you can do a move of the day. You can do an ingredient of the day. You can do just something that's nothing to do with Beachbody. I want you to show up at least like 10 clips of just something. Can you do that? Yes. And then I'm like, cool. So that is literally just me telling you for like your first week to help 2 people. I usually just say help 2 people, basically get to Emerald. Work on your photos and, you know, make sure you're inviting to everybody that likes and comments on your stuff, because your Instagram is a business. How dare you like put your head down for somebody that's going inside of it? And then they say, okay. I'm like, awesome. So did you write that down? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, me too. So then I said, okay, don't forget, I saved this spot for you, but if you don't show up, then for the next 7 days in a row, I can't do it with you. I can't do it. I'm like, okay. I'm like, awesome. Let's do a boomerang. And I do a boomerang, and then I I always send them the boomerang to make them like post it themselves, because I always add music to mine. and you can't like add it to your story if you add music to it. So I always, this is like an important part. It doesn't seem like it's important to talk about, but I always post my boomerang, and I pick a song that now when everybody thinks of, like when they hear Started from the Bottom, Now I'm Here, they're going to think of me, because it's like they hear it probably 7 times a day because I'm on calls all the time with them. So pick a song that makes you like, reminds you of your team, and use that so everyone, when they hear it, they're like, oh, they think of you. And so I also I always like do the boomerang of something of like us, and I always say like where they're from. I like do the location of where they're from, so they know like you don't have to live in Wilmington, North Carolina to join my team. You can live in Canada, UK, like all over US. So I'm like always tagging the state or whatever. I always tag their Instagram, if they, and I always do bullet points quickly of who they are. Like I have like a surgeon on my team. I'll be like full-time surgeon, part-time coach, dog mom, like a couple like coachable, determined, big goals and ready to run. Like whatever it is, it's a little bit about that person. So they know like, oh, cool. So you don't have to like, you can still like your job, you know, or whatever it is. You don't have to like hate your job like she does. Stay-at-home moms, military wives. So I'm attracting all these people now, and not just hairdressers and bartenders. So that's that. Hold on.
Hayley, can I ask? This is effing amazing, by the way. Like, I'm taking notes too. You might think of this as like obvious, even for me, but it's not. There's like really awesome stuff in here. So thank you. I wanted to ask, so like, let's say you have a coach who's like, yeah, totally, I'm going to do this. And then it's a week and you notice, oh, Colleen popped up, she's on my schedule. Like, I assume that you know, like, okay, maybe I didn't show up this week. Like, do you message her and say like, hey, like maybe talk about that?
Yeah, so that only happened to me like 2 times. And I was like about to go on this call. I'm like, I'm not looking at you all week long, you know. I'm like right about when the time comes, I'm like, I quickly go to their Instagram and I make sure they're showed up for the last 7 days real quick. And then if I don't notice it, if I don't see it, then I just say like, hey, I was just making sure that our call was good to go for today, and I saw that you missed a couple of days last week. I'm like really sad. I wanted to see your face, but hopefully, you know, next week, let me know if you have any questions that I can help with. That's it. And then those people usually were like, oh, no, I showed up on my Instagram story every day, not just my Instagram. So I changed the way I word things now. I always say Instagram and Instagram story because it's 2 different platforms. 100%, I sign up like 99% of my people for my Instagram story and like 5% for my Instagram. So I say how important it is for both. Like, yeah, so I'm straightforward. And also, so I know that my number 1 rule is like show up every day on social media, and then you can have the call. But this is also changes, because I would have like, for example, this one girl, she was like one of my leaders, and she would show up all the time, do all the things I said, take all of my advice. Another thing, if they don't take my advice, I'm not going on the call. That's what I'm going to say to them the next time. It's the exact same thing. But take all of my advice, all the things, and I couldn't just not do the call because she was doing all the things. And I'm like, oh, it was like 3-4 weeks in a row. I just want you to help 2 people. I just want to help 2 people. I just want to help 2 people. Couldn't do it. And I was like, all right, well, I have no more advice. I have nothing else for you. I cannot waste this time anymore. I could use this to help somebody else. So I just told her, hey, like, no, like, you're not going to like what's going to come out of my mouth right now. But I need to push you because, yes, I love you and you're totally like one of my great friends. But as your coach, I need to push you. And the only way I can do that is by saying this. I can't do this call with you next week unless you help 2 people somehow. I don't care how you do it, but I want you to help 2 people somehow. I don't care if it's with energized sticks in portion control containers. But you have to do it. And so like now when I do that kind of stuff, of course, they all hit the goals I'm talking about. But you got to be a little bit strict. Like, okay, this is the 3rd call in a row. Like, you have to do it, or like, I can't do the call because I have no more advice to give. So I do that. And whenever I do that, that works. So now last thing, like again, I have one for like the people that just decided to show up out of nowhere, which we have tons of those, always and forever, and then leaders. So with people that just decided to show up out of nowhere, I like get so mad when I hear that like top coaches don't do calls with people that don't hit Success Club. I wrote like, don't not do the call because they're not in Success Club. Do the call and figure out why they're not in Success Club and help them hit it. So that's what I've been doing. I'm like, these girls, they're doing all the things. They show up all the time. They're always on Instagram stories. They show them a couple times a day. They're getting a transformation. Like they're posting transformations. Why the hell aren't they on my board? So I was like reaching out to them, being like, hey, can you do a quick call with me this week? I want to figure out why the hell it's not working out for you. So I literally had to play like 007 with these people. And so this one girl, for example, like I said, she did all the things, and I was like, okay. I was on the call with her, and I'm like, all right, asking her questions, like trying to figure out, all right, fine, what do you do when after somebody fills out your form? Then what do you do? And she was like, well, I send them like this script. I'm like, can I see it? And I'm like, she's like, yeah. I'm like, share your screen. And she shared it, and I was like, this is like, no, you can't do this. No, this is way too salesy. And this is it right here, Lisa. This is it. This is it. You know, I was like, after this, like this, you're gonna have this. Like, she's gonna be diamond, I think, this week now. And I've been working with her for the last like couple months. But she literally went from signing up. She's been signed up for 2 years, signing up nobody, to being. I've been working with her for 2 months. She's about to be diamond, and like literally probably this week. But imagine if I was like, she's not hitting Success Club. I don't have time for that. I wanted to figure out why. And so I was like, okay, you can't be sending somebody that like salesy script. You need to be more personalized. You need to make sure to read their application, take something that's personal out of it, and bring it back to their like, and like bring that sentence back into like your first like initial email back, just so they know like you read their application and you know that they don't like their legs and you have a program for that. You know what I mean? It's not just like, hello, here are the challenge packs you should choose from. And I'm like, there it is. And so it's just really great seeing people grow like so much since January. Like I've had people that have had signed up no one, not even know how to make a transformation photo, but have great words and like have great things to say, but like they weren't moving forward because they just didn't know how to. And now I'm like making sure to like teach those little things. Like I'm literally teaching people how to make a transformation photo, how to flip photos, how to make their pictures better, how to share more stories, like whatever it is, I tell them. So last thing I want to say is like before I go, I like every week I have something to say to them. I always will try to make you better every week. So even my leaders, I'm like, all right, what can I tell her that she can do better this week? What can she do? So I'm like, hey, you know what? So the thing I have for you to give you some advice to move you forward next week is honestly, in the last like 15 photos that I see here, I only see 2 invites. So only in 2 photos out of 15, I know I can join you. So I think that you should work on that. I think you should start thinking about creating an Instagram sneak peek. And I want to know who you want on the Success Club board next week and tell them that you told me. Like, it's just a little bit different for every single person. But I make sure to ask them if they want my advice, give it to them. And then I make sure they write it down. And then when I open up my book, I have that right in front of them. People respect my time. I have the same Zoom link. I tell everybody, don't pop on until the exact time. So they can only handle so much awkward. And that's like the easiest way to pop off the call, is just quick boomerang, bye. Makes it just like not awkward anymore. And then just to like add to this, guys, since January I've helped like, I don't know, maybe like 15 people in my downline get to diamond. I'm really trying to help create five stars right now, like Keith taught me. So that's why I'm doing calls with my whole downline, not just my personally sponsored. I've had more coach applications coming in than I ever have. Like if you look at my board, it's all red names, not blue names, just all coaches that are interested in the business. I know my downline, which makes me feel really good in my heart. And I have fun working because I'm working with people that are excited to work, take my advice, and like are doing the things and are excited to learn and be better. And like I said, I basically doubled my money since January.
And if you guys missed what she is now earning, I'm going to say it with the disclaimer. Hopefully you don't mind, Hayley. You said it last time. I'll say it for you so you don't have to puke. And again, guys, remember, she was a diamond for 3 years, made the decision. Did you guys hear what she just said? Like, that is leader, CEO, that's boss babe right there, whatever word you want to say. That, to me, is why she is where she's at, because she's pouring into people. And not only just, like, making it fluffy and, like, butterflies, you know? Like, she means work. She means business. She's doing the work and pushing people. And that's going to be a skill that you develop over time. But she is now earning $4,000 to $6,000 a week. Like, that's amazing. Income disclaimer is that I will not guarantee you, Hayley doesn't guarantee you, Beachbody doesn't guarantee you that you'll earn that. You have to bust your ass. That's essentially what that means. And like $4,000 to $6,000 a week to some of you usually makes people go, well, that's nice, Hayley, or that's nice, Colleen, or that's nice, whoever. But you have to ask yourself, like, why are you here? There's 35 amazing people, and thank you so much for not having, like, a bunch of blacked out screens. I freaking hate, like, I get it. Like, if you're nursing your kid or whatever, you don't want to be on it. I get it. But I love seeing faces. You guys are showing up. So you get to make the decision of where you're going to go with this. And I don't remember, Hayley, if I've asked you this before, but something that Keith and Liz both taught me, and I still say this on my new coach calls, is, okay, so for like the first 30 to 60 days, it's going to feel really like you and I are in a new employee program together. Like, I'm your mentor, you're the mentoree. It's like this weird kind of, not boss relationship, but I am going to mentor you, and I'm going to push you, and I'm going to hold you accountable, and I'm going to set that expectation. Are you okay with that? And good leaders ask great questions. Hayley did it multiple times tonight. When she would say, okay, this is what you're going to do, she would ask them at the end. She would close it up in a nice, pretty little bow, wrap it up for them and say, are you good with that? When you get confirmation back, then you get to hold them accountable. Then you get to set the expectation for the next call and, you know, so on and so forth.
Yeah, sorry, I just wanted to say, like, how much this has helped me with, like, my new coaches, because I was finding before I was doing this, you know how it is, you sign somebody up and you, like, there's so many groups and there's so many things, and if they ever go into the Beachbody Champions page or whatever, your file section, like, oh my God, they're gonna cry and want to quit. So I just say, like, hey, don't even get yourself involved with that right now. Like, just hop on a call, and I, of course, just say, only thing that matters is if you're showing up every day on social media and completing a program. But this has been working so much because I have them on a call right away, getting to know me. And I set little goals every single week that make up for, like, success, like regular Success Club goals. Like, they're in Success Club at the end of the month. I help basically all my new coaches get into Success Club at the end of the month, their first month, because they're not scared anymore. Like, the first thing I do, you know, the second call they're on, I'm like, oh my God, how'd your week go? And they're like, oh, it was good. I'm like, cool. Are you overwhelmed? And like a little bit. I'm like, that's fun, you know, like, just being funny. And I'm like, what questions do you have? And they, of course, every new coach has so many stupid questions, but they're too scared to ask. And they're like, okay, I had a question about this. I'll answer it. I had a question about this. Answer it. I had a question about that. Answer it. All right, cool. Like, are you ready for, you know, setting some goals now? Yeah. All right. Do you mind if I open up my Instagram and give you some advice on how to hit it? Yes. And then I do that, but then they actually show up for the next 7 days in a row. But no, if you notice, hardly any other new coach does that. They disappear for, like, they just go away and they're gone forever. And they're like, just wasn't for me. I'm like, what? So I make sure that I do these calls, help them with their questions, set small goals, little ones. And then those little goals over time create leaders. But yeah, I would love to answer any questions for you guys about that.
There's a good one in the chat box. I don't know if you want to.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen any of that. I can't with that.
No, it's okay. No, I get it. I'll read it for the people watching the recording because I know a lot of people watch. So Britt asks, what do you do when coaches, quote unquote, do everything, but have not helped anyone in a year plus? They've been a coach and you can tell they're not actually doing all the things.
So I would hop up. Okay. Before I say anything else about that, and then I'll, like, get back to that question, I want to show you something that I'm going to be, because I'm doing those pods, you know, This is exactly what I'm going to be sending to these people that are not like that said they wanted to coach with me one time and haven't been doing anything basically. Hi, so and so. I wanted to ask you if you were still interested in coaching. I'm putting together a new coach mentoring program and I wanted to see if you were interested in joining. If yes, we'll be checking in daily with the new Success Club tracker tracking system. You will love this. It takes the guesswork out of what we do daily to be successful. We'll also be doing weekly calls where I help you build your Instagram page and business by giving you insight and advice, set weekly attainable goals, and most important, hold you accountable to them. The only requirement I have for you to show up every day on social media. What do you think? If not, I promise I'm not offended. I just want you to live happy. So that's what I'm going to be sending to like all of my people that said one time they wanted to coach. And so you could be like, hey, just so whoever it is, I'm going to be working really closely with people in my downline that are like excited to work and help them grow their business in Instagram. And now, and for the whole entire summer, I'm opening up this new coach mentoring program. Call it whatever you want. We're going to be doing this, and that. Basically, what I just said. Do you want to do it with me? And if they say yes, then you go on the call, and that's where you're going to give them advice straight up. Like, I tell everybody exactly what they need to hear, and I do not care, because Keith always told me, you're going to push your coaches into success or you're going to push them out. And if they're going to be out, they're going to quit on you anyway for another reason down the road. So I just like, if you're only posting pictures of your face and never inviting, and if I don't know if you have kids or not, because there's some kids in your pictures, sometimes there's not, you're never in your story, I'm going to be like, instead of overwhelming you with all the things, I pick out the most important things for that week to get them closer to their goal and be like, you need to work on your pictures. You need to fix your like pictures by like angles and lighting. I just little goals, but I tell them exactly like, you're not showing up, you have to like, or you won't get on the call. Can
I elaborate? Sorry. Mm-hmm. So to kind of elaborate on my question, I have coaches I have a handful actually that their social media is great. They're pretty consistent. I give them tips on, changing their poses or, sticking with the same filter, and they do it, and they're coachable, and like their social media is great. And they say that they're inviting like 50 people a day and they're growing their following and they're doing all these things. But in like 2 years, they've never helped a single person. And I'm just like, I don't know what the fuck to tell you anymore. Like, I'm stumped, like, I don't know. Yeah, I'm like lost for words.
That was my girl. I was talking about Lisa, same exact thing, but I had to hop on a call with her. It took me like 45 minutes. By the way, guys, for the person that decides to just randomly pop back in, you want to do a call with them, don't be giving them an hour of your time. Give them 15 minutes, because you never know if they're just going to quit on you again. Figure it out. Like, this person deserves 20 minutes. This person deserves 10. This person deserves 5. This person deserves 1 hour. But for those people, like that girl I had, she was doing all the things and said she was doing all the things. And so that's when I was like, all right, fine. So what's your application look like? And she showed me. I'm like, all right, that's cool. That's cool. So what does I was looking into literally everything. Okay, so what do you say to after that? And then do you message your new followers? What do you say? So I literally had to dissect her whole business. And finally, after like 40 minutes, I figured out it was after they fill out her application, she sent them this spammy looking thing, but she didn't think it was bad at all. So that one little tweak made the biggest difference in her business. So you'll just have to like 007 it.
Can I also say one more thing? So I always say, like, whatever you can't do for yourself, the universe is going to do for you. And I've been like crushing like Success Club 50, and like I keep telling like Candace, like, I need to really like pull back from Success Club and like focus on my leaders and my coaches. And today I lost my whole Instagram, had to start over from at zero. And I feel like the universe is like, after you said that and like you told your story about like your Instagram just like kind of shit out on you, I'm like, this is literally the universe telling me, like, Brittany, do what you've been telling Candace you're going to do forever, and like drop the Success Club numbers and like stop inviting 200 people a day and like focus on your team. So thank you so much for like, I had no idea that happened with your Instagram. So I'm really glad you said that, because that's like my whole day. I've been saying like, my business is done. I have nothing. I'm never going to hit Success Club again. Like, I have 400 followers. Like, I'm done, So I'm so glad you said that.
Yeah. I used to hit numbers like that all the time. And I was like, okay, well, I'm done. I'm done with that for now. And honestly, it's a hit, obviously, because you're making less. at first, and I told Patrick, I'm like, this is going to be a little bit like of a tough couple of months here because Patrick's retired. All the money that I make is for us. So I was like, this is going to be a big deal. I want less people, but more leaders. So the top number I hit is like 30 now. And that's like, I don't want to go over 30 because I want to actually pay attention and give the people that trust in me all of my, the time that I can give.
So then I have another question, because I think I've asked Colleen and Candace, and I don't remember if they ever gave me an answer, but so if that's where I'm at, is like pulling back from Success Club and like the instant income and working on my leaders to grow that residual income, like, you think it was worth it to like, I mean, I support myself, I live by myself, so I'm like kind of scared to drop the instant income, and, you know, I mean, I know it's worth it, obviously, like, look at you, but I guess that just like, it scares me, and like, I don't know, like.
Way worth it. You just have to it was way worth it, and it's going to be even more worth it. Like, this is just the beginning for me, you know? Totally.
And I'll add my 2 cents about because I mean, we all mentor coaches all the time, and like, we love everyone that joins us, and we want everyone to rock and be successful, and it doesn't always work out like that. And sometimes we fall in love with the potential, and we're like, oh my God, this is going to be it. This is going to be the girl. She's going to crush it. And then like, whatever, something happens. And I find that ever since I've heard Keith say it again about Hayley being the sleeping giant, like, sometimes it's time, if you believe in their potential, you could look at every conversation and help them invite and literally help them, like, you know, 007 their business. And sometimes it's for them to figure out. Mm-hmm. That's what Keith did to me, literally. Like, that's when I went from like 5-star to 7-star. And he was just like, you'll figure it out. I'm like, what do you mean? You don't have an answer for me? Like, I was so pissed. And he's like, you're going to figure it out. You've gotten this far. And that sometimes sucks because we're fixers, right? We're like action takers. We're doers. And I remember having to swallow that and being like, ugh. Was there another question up here? Oh yeah. Hannah asked Hayley, what did you start for invite messages? Like a general invite message? Maybe she's asking like when you started inviting, what that looked like for you.
Like inviting like people from my Instagram, or
Hannah, do you want to unmute yourself? You can if you want.
Yeah, just like generally, like obviously I'm a starter coach, so just whatever, like in general, like from your story or from like likes from your post, or
yeah,
like,
you should totally
comment like a heart or whatever.
No, you should check out my Gangster App Connections video. People still love it, and it's just like about having like genuine connections with people and not overwhelming yourself with like tons and tons of messages every day. I honestly started off with 26 messages every other day. And I say 26 because there's 26 lines in my notebook. So I would just like say 5 new people followed me. I would have a script for new followers. 7 new people liked my post from yesterday, and it was a fitness post. I would have a script for that. And then the rest of the people to fill it up would be like people I'd never see post on my Instagram or Facebook, and just write their name down. So the algorithms would work in my favor. They would see my stuff and I would see their stuff. But like, check that out, because that's how I ran my business for like the whole year straight. But guys, you can't do this shit half-ass. It's like if you do it half-ass, then you're only going to get half-ass results. You know, if you go all in, it does take time. Like I said, I was diamond that whole year. I could have been like, are you serious? I'm doing all this work finally and I'm still the same. But I was like, I know I'm doing the work behind the scenes, and I know this is going to catch up. So like, to me, it's either I'm so tough love on my team. I'm like, either do it or don't, because if you're like halfway doing it, then you're like halfway taking time out of your family's life. Like, you're like literally like, oh, I'm just going to go post and then like take a picture and go on my story. And then like 3 days go by, you don't do it again. But so honestly, that day that you did all that stuff, post, go on your story, took time away from your family, is kind of pointless in my opinion, because no one's going to go to a page, sign up with you if you only post when you feel like it. They're going to go to somebody that shows up every day. So I'm like, you're going to go like, and all in doesn't mean like post 5 times a day. It's just once a day. So I'm just like, if you're going to do it, do it. Because otherwise, again, you're like taking time away from your family. Like, if you're not serious about it, because it's not going to work if you're not working. I wasn't being mean to you, Hannah. I was just like, I really involved in that one.
All right. There's one last question that I think is good. So are these calls that you do with your coaches just ongoing? Like, let's say they're showing up on social media, they help those 2 people, they're going in that direction. Are they just indefinite and they keep going, or what?
Basically, like, I have like a lot of like continuing calls with especially like my leaders. I always am making sure I give them my full attention. But yeah, like my new coaches are always like ongoing. Sometimes like I'll just be like, hey, I'm going somewhere next week. Do you want to just do it in 2 weeks? And then I'll be like, but I still want you. I'm like psychotic. I'm like, but can we pretend like we're having a call this time next week? And can you send me a voice message on these exact goals that we're going to talk about? And then we'll just get back to it next week. So like, if you don't want to do a call every week, say that, or just say we're going to do it bi-weekly or whatever. But like when I'm on vacation a lot, I'm just like, hey, I'm gone, but I still want you to be checking in with your voice, and we set these goals and I didn't set them for nothing. So honestly, like if they don't do those things and check in with me, then I'm not going to put them in for the next week. So sometimes it will like fall off a little bit, and that's fine. Cool. I'll get new coaches. I'm getting new coaches that will fill it up. I want to, work with people that want to work. But that's why I'm doing that script that Candace posted in the chat here. That's why I really want to do, like, I want to get more people on a call. So last thing I'll say, I know this is really long, but what I'm going to do now with this pod, like the pods or whatever they're called, like group messages with all the people that I want to get to the next rank, I'm going to be doing the same exact thing, like you said on this, there's like script here, but it's just going to be a little bit more intense. Like they have to post this every single day, the tracker every day. And I'm going to figure out a time for all of us to chat weekly, so I could talk to like 8 people at once instead of 1 all the time. So, that's really going to help. And on that call, I'm literally in front of everyone. I'm going to be like, hey, Brittany, you should be doing this, 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 and that. Megan, you should totally change this, 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 and that. Go on your Instagram story and start inviting to the business opportunity. So-and-so, hey, you should be doing this, 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 and that. So I'll be saying it in front of everybody. So everyone's going to get like, hear all the different advice. So they'll take it. So I'm pumped about that. That's why I truly in my heart believe I'm going to like hit some really big goals. So feel free to take all that, like that script or whatever. And just, you guys, you know what to do to move your business forward. Colleen literally just posted that like on Instagram do's and don'ts. That's like, use that list for your one-on-ones, because those are the things that are like, oh, she's not on her Instagram story 9 times a day. No, she needs to do that to move her business forward. She's not posting a transformation in her first like 9 photos. She needs to do that. You know what to do. And then the truly last thing I wanted to say was that quote again. If social media disappeared, all you would have left to do is turn the people that you have already established trust within you into leaders, and you can start doing that right now.
This is like one of my favorite calls ever. Sorry, did someone have a question? No? Okay. I want to say for pods, if people are like, what the heck is a pod? If you're like brand new, a pod is just like a group. It can be a message thread. I know at the end she just said that. It can be on group Zoom chats, like whatever is going to bring your people together. So if you have like 3 new coaches this month, put them in a little pod, message thread. Maybe you guys do calls once a week or whatever. Just figure out how to build relationships. I'll say that word a million times. And people will fall out, but I think that it's just like workouts, right? Like I'm doing the Zoom workouts now and I'm addicted. It's the first time I finally get to figure out a crew that works out of my time, and it's freaking awesome. The other thing I'll say is if you guys work full time and if you're a mom, like scheduling calls is super tricky for me sometimes. And so Marco Polo has saved my ass. I'm doing all the things that Hayley's telling me to do, but I'm doing them on Marco Polo. And then I schedule calls once every 2 weeks with the people showing up. So you can make it your own and do it whatever, but Marco Polo is great. And the accountability that I say is, okay, on June 10th, whatever the date I said, I know June 10th has already passed, but just shoot me a Marco Polo in 7 days and let me know how your week went. And they send me a 2-minute video clip and they tell me how it is. They ask me their questions. And then when Nixon's done having a meltdown, I answer them back in, 20 minutes later. So Hannah started a pod. That's amazing. See? Brand new coach. So build community, guys. That's really like what we're selling here is this community, we're building each other up, we're mentoring, we're working together, building those relationships, and you'll go so far with this. So Hayley, thank you. I'm so glad I recorded this.
Bye guys. Have a good night. Thanks for having me.
Bye.